Hi guys, and welcome to Zombie Locker. Now, I can't believe I've actually got a brand new mainstream zombie movie to review on a brand new channel. And it's 28 years later, obviously the sequel to 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. Never got that 28 months later. It's a shame. So I jumped at the chance to watch it this afternoon, trying to get ahead of everybody. And I was so excited. I've waited a long time for this. I'm a big fan of the franchise. I think I prefer the second one marginally better than the first. Didn't used to feel like that, but I do now. So I was so excited. You got Alex Garland is back on his writing duties. You've got Danny Boyle as director. A great cast. You've got Ray Fiennes. You've got Aaron Taylor-Johnson. You've got Jodie Comer. Yeah, I was really excited. But I'd heard a few negatives about it, but I went into it pretty much blind and never read reviews. I just wanted to watch it. But I was slightly aware that the reviews there's been a review embargo, quite a late one. It's never a good sign. But I didn't really care. I was going to watch it either way. So for the most part, I was pretty disappointed, unfortunately. So the plot is a little bit muddled. You've got lots of things happening. The setup's pretty good. So it's 28 years later and Britain has pretty much been cordoned off and it's a quarantine zone. Everyone has to fend for themselves, and there's a little island called Holy Island, and it's completely cut off from the mainland. And they're pretty much a community. You've got very working, there's no technology, but there's farmers, there's seamstress, there's everything. They've even got beer there. As a rite of passage, Aaron Taylor-Johnson takes his 12-year-old son, Spike, out to the mainland to practice killing zombies. There's a section of it where he's learning how to kill zombies. Now, the problem with it a little bit is that because Aaron Taylor-Johnson has lived in this world for 28 years at least, then there's no fear. He's not afraid. The zombies have kind of evolved. They're slow ones, fast ones, that sort of thing. But there's just no real fear with the zombies. I mean, the son feels a bit of fear, but as the audience, it's not like the first two where when the zombies are coming, you need to get the fuck out of there because they are terrifying. So you've got fat zombies, really morbidly obese zombies. And considering the first wave of zombies died of starvation, I don't really know how they're so fat, what they're eating to get that fat. I mean, morbidly obese fat. So the positives, you've got great zombie action, great effects, great acting, especially from Spike, played by Alfie Williams. And this is a very lived-in world, so you've got room for humour, and in the first two, there's no humour. Not that I can remember, anyway. It's very bleak, the first two. So there's a little bit of room for humour, but not much. It's still very, very dark, very, very bleak. But the negatives, unfortunately, they kind of outweigh the positives. So the start of the movie starts off like the trailer. Again, I'm not going to give any spoilers. When you got the Teletubbies scene where the family's in the house and it's set 2002. So it's going all the way back to the start. And that's where the sort of cut-off point was. And the problem with the start is that it's rushed. It's a really, really good start. But for some reason, Danny Boyle chose to really speed up the start. It goes at lightning speed, and there's no time for tension. That opening could have been incredible if they put you in a sense of ease and built up the tension, but it's over in a jiff. And I don't know why they did that. So like I said earlier, the zombies aren't very scary. They should be scarier. And there's a lot of new ideas in this, but they're only new for this franchise. There's all these ideas in this have been done to death, especially in The Walking Dead. There's a lot of elements of this that is borrowed completely from Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder's zombie film. Now, a lot of people hate that. I don't mind it. But there are big elements of this that are similar. So I'm not going to spoil it, but when you watch the film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So another negative is there's kind of like 3 or 4 storylines running side by side, and I felt like they're trying to set up the next one. There's a lot of world building, but they're trying to set up the next one. Like, it does feel like its own film. It's not like chopped in half, but you feel like a lot of the elements are there, ready for the next one. I'm not a fan of that. I like a film. I don't mind a bit of a cliffhanger here and there, but I like to see a film complete. And I feel like some of the characters are underwritten, and maybe they're just setting them up for the next one. So overall, look, there's a lot to love in this film, or a lot to like at least. There's some good action, there's some great performances, particularly from Alfie Williams, who plays the son Spike. All the cast are pretty good. Ray Fiennes is really good. But I gotta say, I was a little bit disappointed. I wish I loved it. Look, I love zombies. Obviously, I love zombies. I do this channel, but this was the worst in the franchise. It's not a shit film by any means, but there's some questionable direction, questionable script ideas. I'm not going to give it away, but at the end, the last 2 minutes of this film, kind of setting up for the next one, is horrendous. Honestly, I heard there's a dodgy ending, and I don't think it's one of those endings where you either love it or you hate it. I think everybody is going to hate it. If I told you what happens at the end, you wouldn't believe me. It is ridiculous, and it's literally the last 2 minutes. You could cut it out and it wouldn't matter, but obviously they're setting up for the next one, so I'm guessing whatever happens, you're going to play a big part in the next one. But yeah, overall, I was a bit disappointed, and I also, the more I'm thinking about it, the less I'm liking it. Like, I left the cinema trying to be positive. I didn't want to be like a negative, and I thought, no, there's a lot to like, but I can't stop thinking about those negatives. And yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed. So I'm going to give this, because there's a lot of cool stuff in it, I'm going to give it 3 stars. That's all you get in Danny Boyle, I'm afraid. So have you seen the movie? Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And if you love zombies, please subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.